Welcome to the Agility in Real Life podcast, Take 5 in Real Life. Now your hosts, Mike Studeman, Jeff Lee, and Pat Campbell.
Hello, and welcome back to the Take 5 IRL podcast. I'm Jeff Lee, a partner at Agility IRL and one of your hosts.
And I'm Pat Campbell, another partner at Agility IRL. Good to see you, Jeff.
Good to see you as well, Pat. People haven't seen you in a little bit because we've been talking to Kelly Wyrock in our recent series of podcasts and talking about how we can be agile in regulated environments and specifically FDA regulated environments. You and I had the pleasure last year of working together on a client engagement that was medical device, very regulated in the medical device space. And they were looking to make the move to Agile. Can you set us up here, Pat? Talk a little bit about that client, where they were before we arrived?
I sure can. And, I missed you. I hope you didn't miss me too much. But this was a kind of a classic case in the regulatory environment. This product group, they were part of a larger company, and this product group was struggling, as many of our clients are when they come to us. They had a number of projects that always seemed to be almost done, but they couldn't close out. A lot of work in process. Imagine that. And at the same time, their teams were getting reduced in size. They had to drop an offshore provider. Their costs were getting impacted through budgeting directions. There were dependencies across the teams, even those that remained, that they had to struggle through and around trying to get things done. They had long, unpredictable testing and compliance phases, which many in this industry often do. They were missing target dates as a result. A lot of the compliance work was getting shoved, towards the tail end of the effort. They really wanted some help, and the director who had come in and taken this group over wanted to obviously prove her mettle and that she could have an impact. And so she was looking for a way of change, and that's when she reached out.
Yeah, you had a couple of problems. You had mentioned the long testing cycles at the end. I mean, it's very frustrating for their leadership group when they get told, yeah, we're done. We've developed the solution. Great. When can we submit it to the FDA for approval? And the answer is, well, we don't really know, but it'll probably be a few months. There's room for improvement here.
Yeah, and it was probably showing up in their PMO reviews as 95% done for the past 3 months.
Right.
Everybody can probably identify with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the great thing for us is we came into this group that had, like you mentioned, a really engaged leader who was interested in getting them to a new way of working. They had a reason for change because things weren't going great. They had just gotten a release out after a long time and a lot of anxiety and hard work and all that, but challenge is coming. Not only the need to deliver faster, but like you mentioned, the budget issues and shrinking the team and losing some key people from the team.
Yeah. Yep. If then they were, before she came or before she was trying this out, they kept believing if we squeeze waterfall hard enough, we can make it work because we just need to tighten down our controls. And like a lot of our clients, it wasn't happening. So she reached out to us, and that kind of takes us to the next step, which is, what are some of those things we started to introduce? And maybe you can take it from there.
Yeah, like we talked about, right? The positive thing here is we have a leader who's really supporting the change. They had some people on the team, only a few people, but a few people in key positions who had done this before, who had worked in agile environments that were successful. And so they had a couple of pieces in place, but most of their organization didn't understand Scrum, didn't understand Agile. And so we started with a lot of training, getting people aligned on why and what good looks like from an Agile and a Scrum perspective. So there was training at the team level, there was training at the leadership level, there was role-specific training for product owners and Scrum Masters, as well as executive level training. Now, this was a giant company. We didn't get the C-suite in here,
Mm-hmm.
but we had, VP level over this group and some peer groups that supported them. And so we were able to get that part of the organization, at least getting a common idea of what the vision was.
Yep. And to add to that list of things was a critical success factor. And that's where we started to introduce training around working within that regulatory environment. And how do you do that still in an agile fashion without upsetting the apple cart with the quality gods, FDA, and also the internal quality people, and yet still deliver quality product that passed the test as needed. And that was some critical training, and of course one of the things that they really liked about us, in terms of their chosen vendor, the ability to bring that.
Yeah, absolutely. There aren't a lot of people who can offer that. And I think between that Certified Agile Regulatory Specialist training is called, CARS certification that we offer, as well as at the team level, the Applying Professional Scrum, which comes from scrum.org, which is really a very hands-on class. And we heard a lot of feedback from the developers on teams some of them had been through Agile training before, some had not, and they came in with, expecting it to be a waste of their time. And universally, we heard that this was actually, number one, it was fun. The class went fast, but also I hadn't seen it presented in this way before. This makes sense. I'm excited to move forward.
Yes. And the result was they had a renewed view of Agile, and particularly in the cases of those who had tried it before and seen it fail or even seen it succeed elsewhere, but not doing so well here. And so the energy was there, and then coaching to that with that as the foundation, and getting them in the habit of including the quality work as a part of the deliverable every sprint. Part of getting to done in the sprint goal had to include not just the functionality of the product, but the quality associated with, well, that's all part of the product. That's all part of the deliverable.
Yeah. So part of the upfront training that we did focused on setting your definition of done. We did that in a workshop immediately following the team level training. And we were very specific on, what things in the quality system do you need to deliver on, and when can you do it? And the more you can do early on, like if you can do some parts, update your requirement specification every single sprint, you're setting yourself up for a shorter post-development time frame before you can submit to the FDA.
Yep. And so between their pain and some of the things we brought to the table, there was an interesting result, which I think we're going to be talking about in the next episode. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're doing a two-parter here. So we've kind of set up the situation. We talked about our approach and the training and coaching, right? Training is great for kind of setting that North Star and getting people aligned to what good looks like. But coaching is essential for creating habits for people and having that external viewpoint to help them do that. But that doesn't mean it's easy. So as we get into our next episode, we'll be talking about some of the process and learning curve that our client went through. And to be honest, that we went through, right? We'd never done this for them before. And so it's always different. It's always new. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the end results in our next episode.
Look forward to it. Good to see you, Jeff. And we'll see you in episode 2.
All right. Thanks. See you all soon. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the take5IRL podcast. If you like it, please go ahead and share it with someone, as well as like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, leave us a comment or a suggestion for a future episode. Again, thanks for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next time on the Take5IRL podcast.